For centuries, knowledge has been hidden in plain sight across the sands of time. Whispers of lost civilizations, cryptic symbols, and forbidden histories have been erased or concealed. What if the truth was never lost, but hidden? Welcome to Eye of Ancient Mysteries, where the past speaks and the future listens. Sit back, open your mind, and prepare to uncover the untold secrets of our world. Let the journey begin now. 10 years had passed. Colonel Serafimov was no longer active in the services, and Captain Denitsa Stoyanova had left Dan's to devote herself to family and their 2 daughters, Zori and Yani. They lived peacefully in a small house near Plovdiv, overlooking the Rhodope Mountains. The evenings were quiet. The children painted, Denitsa taught cybersecurity at the university, and Serafimov tended vineyards in the yard. However, the tranquility did not last long. One spring evening, a dark jeep appeared at their door. A tall man with oriental features stepped out, dressed in a suit but with the gait of a soldier. He bowed slightly and said in Bulgarian, with a slight accent, "Agent Serafimov, Captain Stoyanova. My name is Fahad Omar. I am from Saudi military intelligence. I have come to ask for your help, which no one else can give me. 15 years ago, I worked with Agent Serafimov on a joint operation in Qatar, and you are the only ones I trust." It turned out that Fahad was a descendant of an ancient family from northern Arabia. The family legend held that his great-grandfather, a Bedouin warrior, had received a saber from the guests from the sky, forged from an unknown alloy that no blacksmith could melt. The great-grandfather had married a woman from the Rhodopes, a Pomak he met during a mysterious journey. After World War II, however, the family separated, and the traces of the saber vanished during the communist regime. "I believe the saber is here, in Bulgaria," said Fahad, "and the recent archaeological discoveries in the Nefud Desert, huge stone monuments aligned with the constellations, show that the same guests left signs in the Rhodopes. I am not seeking a weapon, but the truth." Serafimov and Denitsa exchanged glances. They had long sworn never to return to the shadows of the past, but the words, "guests from the sky," struck them straight in the heart. The memories of the pyramid in the Black Sea were still vivid. The next day, the 3 set out for the Rhodopes. Perperikon greeted them with the silence of stone. Legends told that the Thracians had performed sacrifices there, and priests had prophesied with fire. Denitsa felt vibrations in the rocks, as if someone, or something, was watching. From there, the trail led them to Krastova Gora, where monks whispered of hidden knowledge brought from distant lands. One night, while camping near the Devil's Canyon, Fahad shared a revelation. In the Nefud Desert, archaeologists discovered stone monuments, megaliths, which perfectly match the symbols of Perperikon. My people believe that the Rhodopes and the Arabian Peninsula were connected in ancient times through these guests. The saber is the key. It is made from the same matter as the monuments. Suddenly, the night sky split with light. From the top of the canyon appeared a glow outlining the silhouette of a sword. The wind carried a strange metallic ringing, as if someone were forging an invisible blade. Denitsa whispered, holding her daughters close. "Serafimov, this is not just a mission. It is a call. Something wants to be found." And in the distance above the Rhodopes, the lights formed the constellation Orion, the same one the archaeologists had traced in the Nephid desert. The saber was waiting for them, but not just it. It was as if the guests from the sky themselves were returning to remind them that the fate of two ancient peoples was intertwined in the same secret. The next morning, Serafimov, Denitsa, and Fahad ventured deeper into the Rhodopes. The air was thick with the scent of pine and damp earth, and mists drifted over the villages like a veil. The children had been left in safety with their grandmother in Plovdiv, because what lay ahead was not for innocent eyes. The first trace led them to a hidden cave near Trigrad. Local legends told that a Thracian priest had hidden a fiery sword there, which no human could draw except the child of two lands. Fahad shivered. That was how they referred to his great-grandfather, a foreigner from the desert, and his wife from the Rhodopes. Inside the cave, the walls were covered with symbols carved deep into the rock. Denitsa turned on an infrared camera and gasped. The symbols were not just Thracian. Some resembled cuneiform from the Middle East, others unknown star maps. "This is a map," she whispered. "It shows the connection between Perperican, Krastova Gora, and Devil's Canyon. The center is here, in the Rhodopes." As they went deeper, they heard an underground rumble. Water receded from a rock niche, revealing stairs leading downward. At the bottom was a stone hall, in the center of which stood a sarcophagus. Carved upon it was a face, not human, but a being with elongated eyes and a crown of stars. Fahad knelt. "This is the priest who received the saber. In my family, we call him the Man of Two Heavens. When he touched the sarcophagus, the air was filled with a metallic ringing. The stone lid opened, revealing an object wrapped in linen. When Serafimov unwrapped it, before their eyes appeared a saber with a blade that seemed poured from liquid light. It did not reflect. It radiated brilliance. At the same moment, noise echoed through the cave. Someone else had tracked them. Lanterns flashed at the entrance, and heavy footsteps rang on the stone. A voice in Bulgarian with a foreign accent shouted, "Daens will not help you here. The saber is the property of our state." Serafimov immediately realized. Behind them were not only curious scientists, but foreign agents who had been tracking these legends for years. Denitsa drew her personal pistol, and Fahad raised the saber, which emitted light so bright it blinded everyone for a moment. The cave walls began to tremble, as if the place itself was awakening. Serafimov shouted, "The power is not in the saber, but in what we choose to do with it. If we take it with us, we bring war. But if we leave it where it belongs, perhaps we preserve the balance." Fahad hesitated. The blood of his great-grandfather called him to take it, but Denitsa's eyes were resolute. This weapon was not merely a relic, but a key to forces the world was not yet ready to bear. The hall roared, stones fell, and the foreign agents advanced. The choice had to be made now. Fahad stepped forward, gripping the saber. The blade pulsed like a heart, its light filling the entire cave. The stone walls seemed to open, and beneath their dark surface, stars began to glitter. The Rhodopes had become a cosmos. The foreign agents froze. Their eyes reflected the glow, but their bodies seemed petrified, unable to move. Only Serafimov, Denitsa, and Fahad felt the bending of time. Suddenly, a beam of light erupted from the saber, outlining a doorway in the air. The stars spun around them, forming a spiral, and the portal came alive. Within it, a city of gold and crystal appeared, perched in a desert that belonged neither to earth nor the moon. Denitsa gripped Serafimov's hand. "This is a new dimension." Fahad could barely breathe. "My great-grandfather always said the saber is a path of return." But to where? Without giving them time to hesitate, the power enveloped them. The ground beneath their feet vanished, and the three were sucked into the portal. They found themselves on a vast stone terrace. The sky was purple, with two suns, and in the distance rose pyramids far older and more majestic than Giza. Around them appeared tall figures with shining eyes, dressed in long cloaks of metallic fabric. They held no weapons but radiated authority. One stepped forward and spoke in a language Denitsa perceived not with her ears, but with her mind. "Welcome, heirs of the two lineages, the desert and the mountains. The saber is the key, and you are the chosen to bear the knowledge hidden for centuries." Serafimov tensed, ready to protect his family, but when he met Denitsa's gaze, he understood. This was not a threat, but a beginning. Behind them, the portal still pulsed. On the other side, in the Rhodopes, the cave was collapsing, and the foreign agents screamed in fear. They had already lost access. The three stood at the threshold of a new dimension, before a civilization that was clearly the root of the legends of Thracians, Egyptians, and lost peoples. "And if we find the truth here," whispered Denitsa, "perhaps we will rewrite the fate of the world." The light around them thickened, and they took the first step into the unknown. After a long journey through the parallel world, Serafimov, Denitsa, and Fahad realized that the city they had entered was not merely an ancient civilization. It was an archive of the universe. In crystal halls, records were kept of planets, lost races, catastrophes, and the rise of empires of which humanity had no knowledge. The beings who greeted them gave them a choice. "You may remain here forever and be guardians of knowledge, or return to Earth, bearing the burden of a secret that cannot be fully revealed. Humanity is not yet ready." Serafimov looked at Denitsa. She thought of their two daughters waiting in Plovdiv. Fahad, in turn, gazed at the saber, a symbol of his lineage, but also of responsibility. "We will return," said Serafimov firmly. "Our world is there, but we will carry what we have learned, so that humanity does not destroy itself." The beings nodded. The saber shone again, and the portal opened. In an instant, the three were expelled back into the Rhodopes, just as the cave collapsed. They emerged outside, covered in dust, but alive. Outside, agents from dens waited, as well as shadows of foreign services who had come for the saber. Serafimov and Denitsa, however, held empty hands. The saber had remained in that world. Only their eyes bore the glow of the light. Fahad whispered, "The weapon is no longer in this world, but the knowledge is within us." The three kept silent about what they had seen, the star maps, the archives, and the truth that the Rhodopes were part of a network of ancient portals connecting Earth with worlds beyond imagination. When they returned home, Serafimov and Denitsa's daughters greeted them with smiles and hugs. Life seemed to return to normal. School, family dinners, ordinary conversations. But at night, as they fell asleep, Serafimov and Denitsa heard a quiet echo in their dreams, voices from that world, reminding them that one day humanity would have to choose whether to remain in the darkness of wars or embrace the light of knowledge. And they knew when that day came, they would be ready.